Hey guys, this is Morgan from Tundra. Welcome to Hell, music video. Just hit over 1,000 views a couple days ago, and I thought as a way to celebrate it and reflect on it, I'd just make this little video talking about the song, writing the song, what it's about, and the making of the music video, and what all went into that because it's got a little bit behind it as well. And if somehow you're watching this video and you haven't seen it, or if you just need a refresher on it, I'll make sure it's at the top of the description of this video so you can go check that out real quick. So the video has been out for just over a year now. I think it came out April 16th of last year. I was trying to find the exact date, but from what I remember, that sounds right. So it's been just over a year. Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So, right off the bat, this quote at the beginning is 2 Corinthians 11:3, which ties into the song and also Alone, which is what starts off the EP, and the full album will come out eventually. Alone and Welcome to Hell tie together. Basically, in a gist, I'll dive more into it later, but basically the song is about someone who used to be a Christian but has fallen away from the faith, whether that and there's a multitude of reasons why that happens, but it's about you used to having I'm not good at this, used to having that light and knowing the path, and then just eventually straying away from it for one reason or another. And it's a scary thing, and it raises a lot of questions about, well, what does life really mean, and what is my place in the universe? And then there's the whole, well, if the Christian's right that there's a heaven and a hell, what does that mean for me not being a Christian? And these are questions that I feel like everyone kind of struggles with at some point or another, and it's a daunting thing, the concept of eternity. So that's kind of everything on this EP, and then later the full album kind of has this this horror sub theme to it, but this one's a little bit more on the literal side, just as far as it's a scary thing, and it's something that I feel like everyone contemplates at some point. It was pretty cool getting these band shots. We actually just did this in my garage. We filmed all of the band shots at 60 frames a second, so that when we did all of these slow motion shots, it looked better. Which I just run everything off of this computer, and I didn't have an external hard drive at the time, so editing that video was a monumental pain. I will say, because we filmed it at 60 frames a second, it does kind of make the parts that aren't in slow motion a little too clean looking. I think if I were to do this video again, I would do it. Normal is 29 and some change frames per second, I think. So if I were to do this again, I would do it at the normal frame rate for when it's not in slow motion, and then we film it again at 60 frames so that we could go back and forth between the slow motion and then the normal. But every time I make a music video, I'm always like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, and made it better. But you live and you learn. It bothers me to this day when we film that on all of the Eternal songs, the bass and the guitar play in the same octave. And to separate the bass and the guitar a little bit, the bass isn't always doing exactly what the guitar is doing, just to add some separation because again they're playing the same octave. So on all of those songs, I don't think there's ever a point where we use anything other than the two low strings. And so as a result, when Neo, our old bass player, when he changed his bass strings, he just didn't put on the two high strings, and that just it. I totally spaced it when we filmed the video. I was like, that looks goofy as heck. But he's a real punk guy, so I mean, I'm sure it doesn't bother him in the slightest. But looking back at it, I'm like, oh no. All of the band shots too, because I film and directed our videos for the most part by myself, and Lewis was in the band at the time that we filmed this, but there was a period of time where he wasn't able to come to practice for an extended period of time, and that's when we were making the video. And so like we were like, oh, you can just film your shots later, and then it just never happened. So I didn't have anyone to like hold the camera during all of those other band shots because I was doing other stuff like running the track so people could play along with it, and then there's obviously the shot that I'm in. So to make it look a little better in post, I added an effect that adds a little bit of a shake, so it kind of looks like it's handheld. It's so goofy, but it honestly it helps glue it together a lot better because on all of these outdoor shots, we did not have a steady cam or anything, so it does have that handheld feel to it. The version of Welcome to Hell that's on the EP for Eternal is all live drums. We did some like sample replacement and stuff, but that's all really Drew playing. And he just had something like pretty simple going in it, especially at the beginning of the song. It's just like a simple like snare roll, I think. But he mixed this new version, and he's doing the mixing on the full version, and he's taken it as an opportunity to go in and completely rework all of his drum parts, and he is like taking the complexity up another notch, which is cool and all. I like this new version of Welcome to Hell more, mostly because of the drumming is a lot more intricate and a lot cooler. But at the same time, now this is the song that Drew dreads to play live because the drum parts are so intricate. All of the outdoor shots in this video are actually just at a park that's like a block and a half away from my house, and that's also where we did the newest band pictures at the time, which I'll have come up here. But that was pretty fun to do. I like getting to film outdoors, and it was just a cool place. Like there's a lot of like little offshoots in the trails where there are these openings where you can walk through and get these eerie shots with the branches hanging in the way. So we did that as much as we could, and I'll have the video come up here. But there was a time where Mackenzie, who is our witch in the video, she was like walking through, and I was like standing on the edge of this log that could just give away at any time. So it was a pretty fun shoot. Also, she was for like an aesthetic reason, she was barefoot, and so it is like sped up when when it's like solo shots of just her walking, the video is sped up a little bit. But that is something that they actually do in horror movies a lot, is because it doesn't look natural. Like, that's not how people move. So then when you see that movement, it's like that's like a supernatural thing. That's not normal. Something that is annoying, though, about all of this was um, actually all of the indoor shots, the band shots, are just filmed on my phone because my wife's DSLR, I don't think, shot 60 frames a second, and my phone did. And that was at 1080p, standard resolution ish nowadays. Her DSLR is what we used in all of the outdoor shots because I felt like it would get the lighting better, and I didn't necessarily need the slow motion stuff for that. But the problem is that her video settings were set to 720 and not 1080. And I didn't know that at the time. So that was a big bummer. So all of the all of the outdoor shots in the video ended up a little grainy looking just because it was like, say, like that's your 1080 frame, and then your 720 is like that ish, and then I stretched it out. So all of the outdoor shots are a little grainy, but I feel like they're vibrant enough that it doesn't look too bad. But it was something that, like, I kind of just thought that it defaulted to 1080. I didn't think I would have to go into the settings and change that, but that was something I didn't know at the time. So again, you live and you learn. So in the original version, there's that low singing part and that high singing part, and I had it flipped. In my mix that I did on the original, I had the low part louder and then the high part as like a background thing. And as a result of that, because it's more of a texture piece, it's a little imperfect because I didn't need it to be perfect. It was just like a texture piece. And Drew, when he did his mix, did it the other way around, which I think has its merits to it. It sounds more melodic, I guess, which is necessary, I think, in a song and an album in general that's just really heavy. It needs something that's got a little bit more sing-songy feel to it. But I will say, in the full album version, which is crazy to say, but that will be the third version of Welcome to Hell, Steven, our new bass player, will be doing the high part on that. And he's doing most of the clean stuff on the album. But we're done recording that, and it's coming together really nice. So, yeah, excited for you guys to hear that. That shot was so hard to coordinate. We did like 4 or 5 takes on that because, with the tree reveal, and then because Mackenzie can't be right there. So we had to film the first part. She would move into frame, and then Drew would go around the corner and she'd be there. So it was quite a pain to get that right. And also the first couple of times we did it, they laughed because it is like it when you're in it and it's not actually a scary thing because the person you're with and it's just a video. It's funny. It's not scary. It's not taken seriously. So yeah, we had to do multiple takes of that. And then this shot here with Drew spinning on the ground. That was stop motion. So that which was awful because I didn't have a tall tripod, so I was like standing on a bunch of crap in my garage, and with the camera like this, and I just had to be like, okay, Drew, rotate slightly. Okay, rotate slightly, and I just had to hold so still. But that's actually one. It ended up turning out to be one of my favorite shots, and it's again with the like speeding up with the Mackenzie walking. It just adds like this creepy feel to it, like this unnatural thing. So that's one of my favorite shots in the whole video. People ask, is like, so is it like a dream? Did that really happen? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just a music video. Yeah, that was a fun film. That was a fun film. I was gonna see if the lyrics were in the description of this video, and they're not. So I'm going to add that while I am talking a little bit more about the song. So as for writing the song itself, it was pretty straightforward. I basically wrote our first album, Wastelands, and then immediately went into writing Eternal. Just because I bought a new guitar. Every time I buy a new guitar, it turns out that I just kind of go crazy and start writing a lot more new music. So that first initial part of, I mean, I basically had all of Eternal written by the time that the EP came out, but we just were like, all right, what's the 5 songs that we think we can get done the quickest and get this Halloween show going? And that's kind of how that came together. Okay, so now if you want to see the lyrics, I'm adding them to the description of the music video. But yeah, so Welcome to Hell was the first of those to be written, and I knew I wanted to kind of do horror themes, but keep them relatable and metaphors. Like I didn't want to write like a song about zombies or something, and then it not be a metaphor, you know? Like Undead is kind of a song about zombies, I guess, but it's not really, you know? I had kind of mentioned that that's like Drew's like least favorite song to play live. But I think everyone else really enjoys it. I think the only challenge I had with writing the song was because all of the first album was on a 7-string, and then all of Eternal's on an 8-string guitar. I was kind of worried that it would just start to sound like a different band. And I wanted, I mean, Wastelands is kind of a mess as far as like consistency goes as style. But I wanted to make sure I just took my favorite parts of Wastelands and then said, okay, now this is what I want Tundra to be. This is what I think the sound needs to be. And then switch that or channel that into writing Eternal, which I think I came out pretty well. I feel like Eternal's a good... especially once you guys hear the full album, I feel like it's does a really good job of taking what I wanted Tundra to be from the get-go. But I feel like Welcome to Hell was a great song to lead with that. Just out of the idea that it's got a little bit of everything that we do. It's got some synth stuff. It's got a good guitar solo. It's got a breakdown. It's got some clean singing. But it's heavy, and it's got this good mixture of like actual metal guitar parts and then some hardcore stuff. It's a great overall song to just kind of illustrate this is kind of what we are, this is kind of what we do, and we veered one direction or another a little bit more here and there. But for the most part, this is basically what we do. But I think that is it as far as telling you guys about the song and the video. Share it with a friend. It's really cool that we got it to 1,000 views. I've had other projects other than Tundra before, And between all of them, this is the song that's had the most reach. And I don't know the exact plays on streaming services, but I know it's also performed rather well there. So thank you guys. And also make sure you're checking out our new song, The Pit. Oh, I should also mention there's this gem. We've brought this stupid little acoustic guitar with us at every show we've done and had it sit on our merch table. So yeah, and that's something we'll still do, and we'll make a video about it. You know, when Welcome to Hell does get to 2,000 views. I don't know why we did 2,000. We should have done 1,000, but hindsight's 2020, I guess. But yeah, if or when this video gets to 2,000 views, we will make a video about destroying that crappy little guitar. So keep sharing it around with your friends. We appreciate you all. Lots more to come from us in the next little bit. So see you later.